In today's tutorial, I'll be giving you a quick rundown on one of the best editors on the market today. And the most unbelievable part about this, the software is completely free. DaVinci Resolve 18 is free. The specialty of DaVinci Resolve is that it combines everything in one place, from media, from trimming, to your edits, fusion with special effects, color adjustments, audio enhancements, and delivery. After you install the software and start up the editor, you'll be directed immediately to the Program Manager. Now, I won't be discussing network or cloud options, but we'll just be focusing on the products locally on your hard drive. Let's go ahead and click on Local and double click on the project. Quick little tip, if you want to go back to this page, just go ahead and click on the Home button, and that'll bring you back to the Program Manager. Now, if we click on Media on our menu bar, we'll notice that we have our clips here in our media bin. We can either drag and drop them from your desktop by doing Control A and then dragging them into your media bin, or you can right click and select Import Media and select the folder where your media clips are. In this case, I have mine in DaVinci Resolve folder, so you have two options here to import your media. Now that we have our clips, or I like to call it footage, we'll go ahead and click on the Cut tab, and here you can trim unnecessary footage by moving the playhead and clicking on the scissor icon to start cutting or trimming the unnecessary footage. You do this by selecting the area you want to trim, hit the scissor icon, that'll form a block, and then you just go ahead and hit the delete key. And that'll delete a portion of your footage. If you want to undo that, you just do Control Z. Now let's head over to Edit. This is where your creativity as an editor comes into play. You'll notice two different colors here, blue and green. Blue is your video and green is your audio. You'll notice also that all your footage is on your left hand side in the edit mode. In the cut mode, it's here in the top left horizontally, but when you click on edit, they go vertically. Now let's do some edits. Here you notice the video is quite small. What you can do is zoom in and out with your mouse scroll wheel. Notice that the footage becomes enlarged, and when you click on it with your left mouse, the footage goes up into your preview window. Another important note is to click on your cogwheel in the bottom right and make sure that everything looks pretty normal here with your video format. Here I am 1080p, playback frame rate is 24 frames per second, and 1920 by 1080. You can also relax some of your frame rates if this is going to be too taxing on your machine, but normally it's going to be 24 frames per second. And you can also change the format as well to lower the resolution. It's one thing you don't want as an editor is lag or freezing while you edit. That's going to be very annoying. Clips on top will always be showing first in your preview window. That's important to keep in mind. And if you drag it on the clip below, the second clip gets cut. So if you didn't mean to do that cut, then do Control Z to reverse the edit. To make copies of the clip, hold the Alt key and drag it to the right. To delete it, just select it and click on the backspace. If we want to extend or overlap our footage, we click on these two icons here to extend, or we can overlap. Now, what would editing be without a cutting tool? And that's where we go ahead and select the blade and make our cuts. Here's the process of editing where you spend hours at a time to customize your clips with your audio by overlapping, extending, and cutting. And don't forget to also use the undo function as well. That's important with the Control Z as an editor. Another bonus feature to DaVinci that makes it stand out from other editors, once again, the customization to make your life easier as you edit. Over here you can select different viewing options on your timeline for your video clips and audio tracks as well. You can have your audio form show as a non-rectified waveform, or full-length waveform, or a waveform with a border. Now let's direct our attention over to Inspector And just when you think that you couldn't customize your video or audio any further, well, you can. Here, you'll see that the buttons are all grayed out, and I know that because I manually put them that way, but by default, DaVinci has these turned on or enabled in the orange position. And to put them in the orange position, we'll just have to left click and the button turns orange. In order to see more of the menu, you just click in the middle, and that gives you more of a customization. Here we have transform, which controls the zoom and angle of the video. Then we have cropping. Let's turn that one on. Select the middle. You can crop from left to right or top and bottom. You can control the softness. Then we have dynamic zoom, which controls the ease in and out of your video. Then we have speed change for slow motion, stabilization, lens correction. I won't be able to go over each and every one of these, but I'm going to pick one and show you how it works. In this case, I'll be showing you transform. Now the common thread here is with each of these selections are these sliders here. The way to use these sliders is to left click your mouse and scroll left or right. You can do the positioning as well. You can control the pitch, the yaw, or even flip the picture. I can also do cropping to left and right. Once again, I'm holding down the left mouse button and using these sliders. One of my favorites here for cropping is softness. Kind of gives that cool effect here. And you can also use it to blur one image into another or even one video into another. Now one thing to keep in mind is if you're not happy with your adjustments, each one of these options has a reverse effect just like the Control Z command. By just clicking on this little arrow here, this reverses your action. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how keyframes work. In keyframes, in order to have keyframes enabled, you have to make this gray diamond here from gray to orange. Now we'll go to our video, and you'll notice we have a symbol here that activates the keyframe. I don't want you to get too confused with what you're seeing here below, but keyframes basically allows you to control your adjustments even further. By clicking and activating this button here, you will activate the keyframe. And as you go along this line here, you select the keyframe and that will show an orange dot. I'm hitting the space bar to move the picture along. And basically what keyframes are, they allow you to control the speed and direction of the selection that you made on top on your preview window. Now I'm going to make one more keyframe adjustment, and that is the dynamic zoom. Here you have a green square and an orange square. And if I want to have the camera move left to right, I added a keyframe. Then I hit the space bar, and as you can see, the camera is going from left to right. And this orange square controls the direction. Bottom left to top right. I'll move the squares here and do this one more time. As you can see, it's going bottom left to top right. So let me go ahead and play a little clip, literally less than 3 seconds, that shows a combination of zoom. We have freeze frame, panning left to right and close up. We have a zoom in and out, slow motion effect with some pitch and yaw. In a matter of less than 3 to 4 seconds, this clip has a cinematic experience. The next section of DaVinci heads into the territory of being an intermediate or even advanced tutorial. Fusion, color adjustments, and Fairlight will actually be covered in additional videos moving forward. However, I will show you how to render the video by clicking on Deliver and selecting the format of MP4, making sure your resolution is set correctly. In my case, it's 1920 by 1080, frames per second is 24. Then we click Add to the render queue, and there it is on the top right. Then we click Render and let DaVinci do its thing. Thank you for watching this tutorial on DaVinci Resolve 18, and I'll see you in the next video.